What's going on, brothers and sisters? Welcome to Listener Feedback, episode number 42. And in this episode will be starring no other than the man himself, Crimson Phoenix. Thank you so much, brother, for writing in this week. It is greatly appreciated. Brother, you wrote such a big email, I had to dedicate a show just to you. There was no way I would be able to have fit that long of an email in a regular episode. So shout out to you, good brother. We'll be getting to your email momentarily. But on top of going over Brother Crimson Phoenix's email, we'll also be covering a couple of other stories. We'll be talking about some Tomb Raider news. We'll also be talking about, where is it? I got it. Yeah, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has been very busy over there with canceled projects that have stalled, projects that have lost money. Hundreds of millions of dollars of money. We'll get into it. Also, it's a new PlayStation bundle that's supposed to be on the horizon. And since today is officially the state of play, PlayStation State of Play at 5 p.m. today Eastern Standard Time, then maybe, just maybe, this bundle might be revealed there, but we'll talk about it a little later. But also, if you want to be a part of the next listener feedback, you can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-380-0281 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show like good brother Crimson Phoenix, and you can email us at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. So without further ado, Mr. Crimson, let's get into your email here, good brother. And again, I want to thank you so much for writing in. So the title of his email is, I try, but you keep pulling me back in. Oh man, a Godfather quote. I love it. Now I'm going to tell you this, Crimson, because this email is so long, brother. I mean, like I said, this is a college level soliloquy. I'm all choked up here, brother, and I ain't even started reading it yet. This is a lot to digest here, Crimson Phoenix. So I'm going to have to take it line for line. So here we go. Crimson Phoenix says, I'm guessing you didn't find any of the Kinda Funny interview with Shuhei Yoshida to be interesting. Here are some of my key takeaways. All right. First off, my good brother, now, it was interesting. It was very interesting. I can tell you, you're right though, Crimson. Oh man, you pulled my card. You are right. I did not watch the whole interview. What I did hear though, I did get up to the point where Shuhei, he talked about the success actually of Horizon Zero Dawn. He didn't expect for that game to sell as great as it did. And he thought that the second game would have had just as much success, if not more, than the previous one. And it did end up coming up short. He said that was a little shocking. He also talked about Gran Turismo actually selling way more than he expected for it to. And it really going way past what his expectations were of that game. So that was also very interesting to hear. It was a couple of other things he did talk about, but for the most part, Crimson, I think I made it maybe about 36 minutes, somewhere around that range, into the interview. But it was interesting. I wanted to try to get back to it, but I got sidetracked, my good brother. But I'm going to go ahead and continue with your email. So he says, number one, Sony first party game sales were underperforming. And he put in parentheses, not leaving enough money to invest in new IPs or sequels. Now, this is the thing, Crimson Phoenix. I will say, my brother, I don't think you're I don't think you're wrong or right. I think this is kind of like a 50-50 thing. I think because since the budgets are so high, like I said, 150, 200 million. Spider-Man 2 cost $200+ million to make. And then you talk about those splits that Marvel has when it comes to them actually using the Spider-Man character. Oh man, it's very, very expensive. So I'm not going to 100% say that they weren't making enough money or they were underperforming, not leaving enough money to invest in new IPs or sequels, because we have a new IP coming out with Naughty Dog, The Heretic Prophet. That's going to be coming out. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen, but they also have, talking about, what else? Sequels. Now, I get this might be a bit of a cheat, but they do have Death Stranding 2 coming out. This is not a cheat. I was going to say because Death Stranding would be a cheat because that is being developed by Kojima, but Sony is fitting the bill, and Death Stranding 2 is a sequel. But we can say Ghost of Yotai. Ghost of Yotai is a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. So we see that they are making sequels. The bigger question is when are we going to actually get them? Now, today is State of Play. Maybe we see something on Ghosts of Yotai to give us an update. Maybe we see something on The Heretic Prophet. I highly, highly doubt that, but we may see something on that. But the other thing is, if they were doing so bad, and I get it that Final Fantasy VII has not set the gaming world on fire, not the remake, but the rebirth. But I think that's a little skewed to a certain, I can't say that because I wouldn't say it if it was Xbox. It just didn't sell well. It didn't sell well. And that's the long and short of it. I get that, but I do believe that they're still doing okay when it comes to them actually having new IPs and sequels, because they've already shown that they have some coming out in the near future. Again, we don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that Ghost of Yotai is going to happen sometime this year. We know that a Spider-Man sequel is being worked on. So, they might not be making as much money as they would like to, but I think they're making enough to keep themselves afloat. But let me finish on up with your email here. Well, I'm far from finished, but we're going to continue with your email. So you said the second thing, number 2, Sony relies on remasters, remakes, and PC ports to make up for lackluster sales of initial releases. Day and date is probably sooner than you might think. He put that in parentheses. Also, many executives at Sony have said that PlayStation owners are not enough. Now, I will agree with you and say that I did hear that as well. That is a direct quote. I think that is from Jim Ryan who said that. I believe that PlayStation owners are not enough. I get that 100%. That's why their games are going to PC. It does make sense to a certain degree. I mean, look, as long as it's not day and date, that's fine. But as soon, I guarantee you, well, nothing is a guarantee, Crimson Phoenix, nothing, my brother. So let me not say that, but I would say I think, and my thoughts could absolutely be wrong, but I think that PlayStation is just in a different position than Xbox. And I'm not talking about it being more popular. I'm not talking about it selling more or having just a better product per se, because that's subjective. So somebody else might not feel that way. But I think that they're in a different position from the standpoint of they can't afford to do the same things that Microsoft does. They can't afford to move the same way as Xbox. Xbox is a fraction, and I mean such a small fraction of Microsoft's business, that this thing is like a toy. I think it makes up like 3% of their earnings. Matter of fact, let's look that up real quick. Let's see if we can look it up real quick, Crimson. How much of a percentage does Xbox make up in Microsoft? Okay, it says in 2024, Xbox content and services contributed about 7% of Microsoft's gaming revenue, which was the company's third largest business segment. However, Xbox hardware revenue has been declining. So it said it contributed about 7%. Xbox content and services, 7%. Now that's a little bit more than I thought. Let me see. In 2025, because I want to be as fair as possible. In first quarter 2025, Xbox content and services revenue grew 61% year over year. But that wasn't quite what I wanted. But I know you get what I'm saying, Crimson. They don't make up the Microsoft business like PlayStation does. PlayStation is a far, far bigger fish when it comes to Sony as a whole. Let's see how much of a percentage they make up of the company. How much of a percentage does PlayStation make for Sony? It says Sony's PlayStation Store charges a 30%. Nah, it's not quite it. Sony game and network segments, which include PlayStation, generate about 1/3 of the company's income. A third. They generate 1/3 of the company's income. This segment is Sony's most profitable. That's what this article is saying on Google. It's a third. And you compare a third to 7%, it's not even in the same stratosphere. So it's no way that Sony can move the way that Xbox is moving. If they go day and date on PC, it is over. PlayStation is going to see a severe drop in users. Because at that point in time, you can get Xbox games day and date and you can get PlayStation games day and date, both on PC. Man, shucks. Let me tell you something, Crimson. If that happened, I might be gone. I might have to get in line for a 4090 or 5090 or something like that. I'm lying. I ain't getting no 59. I think that thing is 2000. I ain't going that far, brother. But I might be good for a 30-something series. Give me something about $600-700, Crips. I start out slow, but if that happened, so many people would jump ship because they would say, well, what is the need of having both consoles? I get it. I understand that the convenience is there. It's a plug and play situation, but it's going to have people start looking like, man, but I can get free online. I can get my games on Steam. They're cheaper than console. I mean, people would have to make some real decisions if that happened, Crimson. And that's the reason why I don't think it could happen for PlayStation, at least not in the foreseeable future, especially with the new guy in charge who said that PlayStation hardware will remain the main focus of their business moving forward. So that's what I mean by they just can't afford it. Xbox, they ain't doing nothing. 7%. Oh man, we could throw this thing in the trash and it wouldn't make a big difference. We'll survive. We'll be fine. If PlayStation goes under, man, Sony is going to see a bad day. So that's why I think they know that they can't do that, Crimson Phoenix. They know that that's their bread and butter. And if they, in any kind of way, shake that cage and make it so people don't feel like PlayStation is a priority to get their games first on their console, then those jokers going to leave, brother. They are not going to stick around because people, and I agree with it, nobody should be loyal to any of these companies. If you see a better deal, if something better fits your pocket, man, you better run and take that deal and say the heck with that crap, because all they want is your money at the end of the day anyway. But you know me, Crimson. If you're offering me a product, you're offering me the kind of entertainment that I like, I give you my money. That's a fair exchange for me. So I'm not tripping on these companies not being loyal to me. Hey, you're giving me a product. I like your product. I'll buy it. You take my money, even exchange. But let me go ahead and get to your next part of the email. So yeah, that one I don't think they're going day and date, not at all. But as far as, hold on, because I want to cover everything. The sales the sales could possibly be a little bit better. I've been wondering about that for a while, Crimson, on why don't games sell more? Why don't they sell more? I would think a good game would sell 25, 30 million copies. I mean, this is a mystery that has been rattling my brain for years. I'm talking about almost 10 years I've been wondering, why don't games sell more? It's because you got a lot of studio gamers out here. All these jokers want to do is get on the microphone and talk about gaming. They ain't picking up a controller and gaming for real out here. They just want to talk about it. Jokers are studio gamers, Crimson Phoenix. They ain't really about this gaming life, brother. Some of them are in it just to make some money. You look at their gamer score and you're like, what the heck are you doing? Or you look at their PlayStation trophies, you say, come on, man. You ain't about that life for real. You just talking. You just talking, you studio gamer. You ain't doing nothing but talking on the microphone. But let me go ahead and move on though, because there's a lot more to go. Okay, so you said number 3, PSVR. No comment. Next question, please. Oh man, come on, brother. PSVR, tell me, hold on, Crimson. So you mean to tell me, brother, you wouldn't want to get a VR on the Xbox? The PSVR 2 is kind of dope, bro. It's not bad at all. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. They got some good games on there too. But I understand to each person has their own preference. So I can respect that though, Crimson. Let me get on to the rest of your email. You said, so in short, reading the obvious tea leaves give me all the more reason to understand that in order to fund new games of any kind, you have to have an inflow of cash, which is why Xbox is putting their games everywhere so that new games can be funded. Well, that's so interesting to me, Crimson, because didn't Phil Spencer tell us that was the reason for Game Pass? Wasn't Game Pass supposed to pretty much subsidize the cost, of all of the subscribers that they were supposed to have? It was supposed to subsidize the cost of the games, and with gamers being inside of Game Pass, that's going to make it so we can make even more games. We'll be able to take more chances, do more risks, do more experimenting. That's what Phil said. And obviously, man, Game Pass has failed miserably because, to your point, they have to put their games on other platforms. Now, they already did it for PC. They already did it, Crimson, and it still wasn't enough. That's why, and I'm not putting you or anybody that actually goes out there and buys games with their money, that actually purchases the games and not wait for them to come into Game Pass. I am not talking about you great individuals that actually support the Xbox brand when it comes to new games. I'm saying that if it made that big of a difference putting their games on PC and having them on console, then they shouldn't be having this problem. It's because Xbox gamers don't buy games. They don't buy them. Not at a big enough clip to make a big difference. That's why I don't think that Sony would even try to put their games over on Xbox. I think that might be why Nintendo actually got Lego Horizon, because they know that the Nintendo fan base goes out there and, God dog, they buy games. I mean, 30 million copies here. It was one point in time, and you know this, Crimson, that they were selling more copies of Zelda than they were of the Switch itself. People were out there buying Zelda just waiting to get a Switch. So they probably saw that. PlayStation said, look, man, I get it. It's a Lego game. Yes, it is one of our franchises, but it is not in the form of what the franchise is on the PlayStation. It's in the Lego form. So we'll give it to Switch. Why not? They buy games. They've been proven to buy games. Now, granted, I don't think Horizon Lego really sold that great. Just overall, I don't think it did too well, but that possibility of it selling over on the Nintendo Switch was enough for them. And they looked over on the Xbox side and said, nah, we ain't going to do that. No, they're going to ask for us for it to be in Game Pass. We're going to skip them right there. Nah, we're not even going to waste the time. You remember when some developers came out and we went over it, Crimson? We went over it, brother, where some of them said they were so upset that they put the resources and the time into making the game for the Xbox platform because it didn't even sell well enough for it to be worth the investment that they made. So just from that standpoint alone, I don't think that day and date it'll be coming to Xbox. And as far as PlayStation games go, and Xbox, again, they are just failing so miserably on the gaming side of the game selling side where they had to put them on PC because guys don't buy the games. I got Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Ori and the Blind Forest, Crimson Phoenix. I've said this before. In the achievements that I was getting in those games, I'm like, what in the heck is going on? This can't be a rare achievement. I just beat the 3rd level. How? Oh, I know why. Because nobody's buying the doggone games, man.
Who's this man?
These jokers are not buying the games, Crimson. That's the problem. That's probably why they had to make Game Pass. It was because they said, daggone, man, we can't catch a break. We release the games they say they want to buy, and they end up not buying them. You know what, Crimson, man, hold on, brother. God, dog. Hey, man, I should be saying the thing you said to me every time I feel like I'm out. You dog gonna bring me back in. You got me all excited over here. Hold on, brother. Let me see. Let's look up. Let's see how many copies Gears of War 5 sold. We'll do that. How many copies of Gears of War 5 sold? All right, here we go. Did Gears of War 5 sell well? The game was the 7th best-selling game in the U.S. during the month of September 2019. The game was played. Now, see that? It was played by 3 million people in its first week, making it Microsoft's most successful first-party launch since Halo 4 and the biggest launch for Xbox Game Pass. Game Pass!
Who's this man?
Game Pass, brother! Game Pass! Again, 3 million people played it. I'm looking on the side right now, Crimson. I promise you, brother. I'm looking at all of my Gears of War games on my shelf. Gears 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 of them are special editions even. And I'm saying, man, these jokers ain't buying games, brother. They are not buying games. That's why Game Pass exists. Again, man, God, dog it. This was 2019, so it wasn't even this generation yet. We know how bad they got beat down last generation, brother. But this generation, I mean, they getting beat, but they ain't getting beat that bad. Yeah, they getting beat a little more than 2-1. Yeah, that's happening. They're between, 27 and 29 million units sold. That's not that bad. It's not Wii U numbers like some people are trying to make it out to be. I'm not going to say that it's a total failure. Yes, it's a failure from last generation if you compare it to this generation, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it ain't that bad. But the thing is, man, let me get back to your email. These jokers ain't buying games, Crimson. That's why they need PC help. I mean, at least, doggone. You got Spider-Man 2 out there selling more than 3 million copies. God of War Ragnarok selling more than 3 million. Hold on, brother. See, this is why I couldn't have this on the regular podcast, brother. We 24 minutes in, and I still got about 19 paragraphs to go. Hold on. Let's do a fair comparison. All right, I said Gears 5. Let me think of something that that's a little more recent. Okay, we'll do Halo Infinite because that's this generation. All right, here we go. How many copies of Halo Infinite have sold? All right, how many copies of Halo Infinite sold? Okay, it says in July 2020, Microsoft Corp showed a 9-minute trailer of Halo Infinite, the latest installment from its blockbuster gaming franchise, which has sold more than 81 million copies. Ho! Ho! And brought it almost $6 billion. Ho! We day! Oh! Woo! Oh, man, I might have put my foot in my mouth with that one. Oh, man, brother. 81 million copies. All right, what is the highest-selling Halo game? Halo 2. That sold more than 8 million copies. I didn't say Halo 2, though. I want to know what Halo Infinite sold. Halo Reach sold 4.7 million. Halo 3 sold, well, it made 170 million in 24 hours. But see, that ain't the question, though. 81 million is doggone nuts, though. But it's like 6 Halos, though. That's still a crazy number, though. Shout out to him for that. I need to figure this out, though. How many copies of Halo Infinite have sold? All right, here we go. It ain't no here we go. Jokers won't tell me what I need to know. It's trying to have the whole franchise. It's trying to count the whole franchise. I'm just trying to count one individual game. It looks like, all right, the series went from 65 million units sold in 2015 to 81 million units sold in 2021. The highest selling game is Halo 3 with 14.5 million. Of course, that was during the Xbox 360 era. That's okay. That works. 9.87 million for Halo Reach. 9.75 million for Halo 4. And Master Chief Collection sold over 1 million copies. But they will not tell me how many copies that they sold of Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite had the biggest launch in Halo history and achieved a massive player count within a short time of its release. This is largely due to the improvements the developers made to the format of the game, as well as the rich story that the players get to embark on. We won't spoil anything. Man, the rich story. Halo has a pretty dope story. I ain't going to take that away from them. Shucks. It won't tell me, though. All right, we'll skip Halo. Even though, I mean, darn, that's a lot of copies. I ain't gonna front. That's a bunch. I'm just trying to figure out how much Infinite sold. And it won't tell me. It won't tell me just that number. So what's another game that came out this generation that was not that long ago? Anyway, I feel like I'm wasting time. I was just trying to prove the point. That one blew up in my face, though. I mean, that completely blew my face off. With those numbers, 81 million, God, dog. But that is including PC, I'm sure, as well. Yeah, that didn't help my case out too much. So what I will say is, okay, how many copies of God of War Ragnarok have sold? All right, so
15 million units. According to Statista, in the first 10 weeks after its release, God of War Ragnarok sold more than 11 million units worldwide. As of November 2023, the total unit sales of God of War Ragnarok sit at 15 million units.
15 million. So, I mean, it's doing numbers. And granted, that 81 million is serious. That's real serious, my brother. But that's for the franchise as a whole. Just one game. You know what? Okay, let's go ball for ball, Mr. Crimson. Let's go ball for ball. How many God of War copies have sold total for the franchise?
66 plus million games. According to Wikipedia, as of November 2023, the franchise has sold an estimated 66 plus million games worldwide and is PlayStation's most profitable first-party brand.
Oh, brother.
Boo this man!
Oh! I can't catch a win. I can't get a win, god dog it. God darn it. I cannot get a win. All right, man. You know what? All right, Crimson. I'm going to bow out of this one gracefully, brother, because I ain't got no wins with this one. My arm's too short right now, god dog it. I can't get this one off. All right, 66 million to like 81 million. God dog. It's close though, doggone it. It's close. Now I ain't going to do Gran Turismo because that's just unfair. That's just unfair. But plus I don't like Gran Turismo anyway. But let me see. All right, let me continue on with your email. See this, brother? We a half an hour in, man. A half an hour, brother. This is what happens when you write in. That's why I had to dedicate this one to you. All right, so let me see. Okay, he says, how about the news surrounding the fact that all of the gas games Sony greenlit had some of their best single-player game studios working on them ultimately ended up canceled. Wasted years of dev time and money. And the other side effect is now you have 3 to 5 more years to wait for what should already be coming. I don't want to buy a remaster of a 2-year-old game anyways. No cap. I get most of my upgrades, oh man, free. And do buy remasters and remakes that do need upgrades, i.e. Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oh, this brother shooting. This brother shooting his gun off, man. God dog. This brother got me ducking. This brother got me ducking from his daggone gunfire. God dog. Man, I got to dodge all of these bullets right now. God dog. Man, you done dumped the whole clip on me, Crimson. Golly, brother. Listen, I know y'all get the upgrades for free and y'all get them, the graphics and all that stuff updated for nothing. And over on the PlayStation side, we got to pay a daggone $10 fee. I don't like it. But darn, it is what it is. That is a win for y'all. I ain't gonna lie right there. That's a good win right there. But we still got the better games though, bro. We got the better games. And that's all it is. Let me ask you something, Crimson. Where's your Last of Us Part 2, bro? Where is your Last of Us Part 2 equivalent over on the Xbox? Oh man, I might be hitting below the belt there, Chris. I'm sorry, brother. Man, you dumped the clip on me, though, brother. I had to defend myself. All right, let me finish with the rest of your email. Oh no, hold on. No. I got to talk about some of this. Because and just being serious for a minute, Crimson, because I'm having a lot of fun with your email, brother. But just being serious for a minute. Yeah, you are right. The fact that several of those projects got canceled. We're talking about Sony Bend Studios. If they had just had made a sequel, maybe things could have been different. But we understand why that didn't happen. It didn't really make back the money that they had put out for it. So, you could use that to prove your point that some games did fall short. That is definitely a prime example of it. But taking Sony Bend, having their game cancel, and then having Blue Point, their game, which a God of War gas game, man, that was a disaster from the door. So I am glad that they canceled it. But to your point, these different studios that had these things in the works, they're starting back at ground zero. And as a result, just like you said, Crimson, we won't see anything for another 3 to 5 years. So I couldn't agree with you more on that point. It does, man. It's terrible, brother. It really is. Just thinking of what could have possibly been. We knew that Blue Point at one point in time, they were supposed to be working on their own game, their own original IP, but they got taken off of that to do this crazy God of War gas game. Oh, man, somebody need to need to take a couple days off, because I don't know who greenlit that. No firing. I could never say that. What I mean by a couple days off is really get this person some R&R, because they must have been wound up tight when they came up with that idea. But yeah, that was a lot happening there. Yeah, just the fact that it's just wasted time and resources. So I agree with you on that. And I know you said that you do get the remakes like Elder Scroll Oblivion. That's supposed to be coming out soon. Sometime this year, they said that that's coming. So I am interested to see what it's going to look like. I've never played Oblivion, only heard great things about it. So I am interested to see how it'll look, once it gets those upgrades for free. As Crimson Phoenix has mentioned. God dog. Let me finish up, man. How many more? Well, we're about halfway done. He says, I say all this to say thanks, everyone, for helping Xbox fund my next game, i.e. Halo, Gears, Fable, Perfect Dark, Doom, Forza, and everything else coming, too. No, everything else coming. Too many to count. I'll be wherever the games are. And right now, PlayStation has nothing enough for me to buy a PlayStation. So I too can wait for the PC launch and support the good games PlayStation makes there. Everybody keeps talking about PlayStation games like Xbox ain't got none. Shaking my head. We eating good over here. First off, I'll tell you, brother, the thing is, man, I ain't even get them shots you gave me, Crimson. The thing is, brother, is y'all ain't supporting your own games, Crimson. Y'all need the help of the PlayStation faithful to help get y'all numbers up out the dumpster fires of America that's going on right now. Man, how many copies did Senua's Saga sell? Huh? How many copies did doggone, hold on, man. Let me name a number. How many copies did Starfield sell? You know what? Starfield might be coming over to PlayStation. It might happen later on today. But we'll even look to see Starfield, because you definitely beat me up on the Gears of War Halo versus God of War conversation. Yeah. You tore me up with that one. But I think I'm going to get a win on you with this one, Crimson. Hold on. How many copies did Senua's Saga sell? Let's see. All right. According to available information. Oh, man, these jokers being very coy about this. Senua's Saga H-Blade 2, also known as H-Blade 2, is estimated to have sold over 1 million copies within its first year of release, with the original H-Blade Senua's Sacrifice also surpassing the 1 million mark. Ace Joker sold 1 million copies, and y'all know, Crimson, you know that I am a Ninja Theory fan through and through. And these jokers did not sell 1 million copies, my brother. 1 million! Oh, man. Now, I will say, Crimson, I'm having a ball, bro. I'm having a blast, in case y'all can't tell. That was low-hanging fruit, brother. That was low. That was a low blow for me. I know that Crimson, I'm saying Crimson. I know that Senua's Saga is not one of those games that was going to be a big seller. It's more of an art piece, more of a, how do you say? It's a game that's not really meant for the mainstream. It's a indie film, as it were. You got to be into the arts to really understand and get it. AKA, you got to be a hardcore gamer to really give that game a chance. But I will say we'll go to Starfield. We'll go to Starfield, my brother. Let's see how many copies that sold. How many copies did Starfield sell? Oh, man, they going to bring up a big article. Okay, how many, copies of Starfield? Check this out. Starfield sold no more than 3 million copies. No more than 3 million copies.
What you talking about, Willis?
Man, 3 million. Oh, come on, Crimson Phoenix. That's why y'all got to come to the PlayStation, brother. Y'all need help. Y'all need severe help. 3 million. 3 million. Hey, Crimson, that's with the help of PC. That's with the help of PC. 3 million copies, my brother. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, man. Golly, brother. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Hold on. Oh, shucks. I was having a little too much fun, Crimson. Hold on, brother. It says, it says Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer speaking at CCXP. I don't even know what this event is. It was at CCXP in Brazil, announced Starfield has surpassed, God dog. Has surpassed 12 million since it launched in September of 2023.
What did he say?
Oh, man. Man, God dog it. Having way too much fun, Crimson. I'm having way too much fun and just got shot back down to earth. God, dog, this Joker has surpassed 12 million copies. Dang. Shut up. Put this darn phone down. Man, these jokers selling out here, man. Man, some of these games is actually kind of selling. Yeah, a little bit. God, dog. Let me look at that close up. Hold on, man. Really? Yeah, that's 12 million, even though I'm putting my phone to the side. Yeah, read 12 million. God, dog, is Starfield a hit or a flop? I'm reaching for straws right now, Crimson. Let's see, okay, it says Starfield came and went in a way nobody could have anticipated. It dropped out of the conversation almost immediately, and a distinct lack of nominations at the Game Awards, both in the official categories and Reader's Choice, speak volumes about how it has faded out of the mainstream in record time. That was written back in November 29th, 2023. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the money it made, per se. Some people could look at it as a flop. I mean, a lot of people didn't enjoy it, thought it was a step back, but I'm just looking at it solely from a financial perspective. And we know that they also made some changes to the game, said 60 frames per second now. They got DLC that's already been released, possibly more DLC coming out sometime later on this year. So, I mean, yeah, the initial release, and that was November of 2023. The game had just released at that time. So, I mean, all jokes aside, because, man, I'm having a blast, but I keep on getting beat up every time I think I got something on this brother. Realistically, 12 million copies is a lot. And I understand that's between PC and Xbox. But the same could be said for God of War Ragnarok right now. Horizon is Forbidden West. I think Forbidden West is on there now on PC. Spider-Man 1 and, well, we know Spider-Man 2 didn't do too well, but it's had a couple of patches, so it'll probably do a little bit better. But yeah, that's a success though. 12 million. I can't front. That's a real big success. And yeah, man, I got a shout out to him, man. See, that's a big number. And yeah, man, I will say, with your last paragraph, yeah, y'all are eating pretty good over there right now. PlayStation, I'm not ever going to say that we don't have anything to play over here. Last year was an amazing year. We're just in February right now. It's taking y'all, Crimson Phoenix, it's taking y'all 5 years to get to this point, brother. We've been eating good on PlayStation since the beginning. Since the beginning, 2020, soon as they hit the ground running, we was eating delicious meals of games, brother. I'm talking all kind of delectables. We were eating, shrimp, steak, lobster, everything, brother. Whereas Xbox, man, they was starving over there. Couldn't even get a bowl of cereal to eat over there. How you gonna launch a console with no games, Crimson? No games, and you're gonna doggone push backwards compatibility as a reason to get the cost? Come on, man! Y'all remember that backwards compatibility is the reason why you should get a Series X. Man, Phil Spencer, if you don't stop it. But I guess he ain't had nothing else to work with, man. Let me finish up with this email. Golly, man, this email just keeps going and going and going, brother. All right, hold on, man. All right, I think I'm finally getting to the end. He says, now we can sit here and pretend we know. There's no Xbox system in the future, but one thing I can say for sure, and this is no speculation, Xbox has the games and will continue to deliver the games as the largest third-party dev, and that means I'll continue to get new releases on my favorite games. Can we continue to say, hold on. Let me start that over, Crimson. He says, now we can sit here and pretend we know there's no Xbox system in the future, but one thing I can say for sure, and this is no speculation, Xbox has the games and will continue to deliver the games as the largest third-party dev, and that means I'll continue to get new releases of my favorite games. Can we continue to say that because Sony sold more systems and not deliver the banger games they're known for? Whoa. I gotta stop right there. Nah, brother. Nah, Crimson. I ain't gonna let you get that one off, brother. They have delivered they had the game of the year. Just last year. 3 months ago, December, they had the game of the year. Astrobot. So they are making the bangers. They had God of War Ragnarok. I don't know what people are talking about that was a step back from God of War 2018. They had different enemy types, real boss battles happen in Ragnarok, not so much in 2018 God of War. They had Horizon Forbidden West, still some of the best graphics you will see to date. They had Stellar Blade exclusive on their console. They've had games, brother. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. Oh my gosh. One of the best games of the generation. They had Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. Nah, brother, I can't. No way, Mr. Crimson Phoenix. I can't let you say that, brother. They have delivered. You can't say the same thing about Xbox, though. I mean, now, granted, okay. They are at a point, brother, where the games are starting to come out. But we don't know if half of these are going to be bangers. We thought that Stellar Blade, pardon me. H-Blade 2, Senua's Saga was going to be a dope game. I went on a limb and said I thought it was going to get an 8.5. I was wrong. That didn't do too well. Doggone, what was the other game? The zombie game that I can never remember the name of. That was a flop. The first person shooter where you were fighting not zombies, vampires. That was a flop. Starfield, I will say that Joker did sell way more than I was expecting. But like the article said, it came and went. It didn't really make a dent. And then, hold on, give me 1 second, Crimson. And then you go to, what's the game? Okay, Doom. I'm sure that's going to be dope. South of Midnight. Now, this is the thing. I'm excited for South of Midnight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really wanna play that game because I'm a big fan of Kena Bridge of Spirits. I loved Kena Bridge of Spirits, and it put me in the same mindset of that game. But listening to, what's his name, Destin Legary, that brother said, man, that gameplay is a little iffy. It's a little iffy, my brother. So again, Xbox is coming out with games right now, but they're not proven. Some of these are not proven yet. Indiana Jones, however, whoa, that game right there is proven. That's proven. That game did amazing. But outside of that, what other games have they had that have really made a splash this generation? Like I said, the year before that, God of War Ragnarok was up for Game of the Year. It didn't win, but it was up for Game of the Year. So was Horizon Forbidden West. Another year, Spider-Man 2 was up for Game of the Year. They're always up for a Goldie. Xbox can't say the same thing. The last time they were up for a Goldie, and I don't know why people try to dismiss this, but it was Psychonauts. Psychonauts 2. People act like that didn't happen. I mean, they wanted to try to push this narrative that Xbox hasn't had a game nomination since Halo 3. I'm like, man, Psychonauts was out. What year was Psychonauts out, Crimson? Psychonauts came out. Hold on. Was it 2021? What year did Psychonauts 2 release? 2021.
According to Wikipedia, the game was announced at the Game Awards 2015 ceremony and released on August 25, 2021 for PlayStation 4, Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, and on May 24, 2022 for Linux and Mac OS.
All right. Thank you so much, Google. Yeah, so it was out in 2021, and it was up for Game of the Year. So, I mean, it wasn't that long of a drought like people made it seem like it was, but yeah. And since, I mean, I understand it was on PlayStation, but it is a first party studio. So, you know, that was their game. But, yeah, no. They've had bangers though. They've had bangers, brother. And it's been proven. They got the track record for it, brother. Man, this brother said they ain't had it this generation. Oh my gosh, Crimson. All right, let me finish up with your email, brother. Where did I leave off? You said talking about PlayStation games like Xbox ain't got none. Shaking my head. Yeah. Like I said, okay, I finished that paragraph. Yeah, they got games. You just got to see if most of them are good. Are they going to be on the same level as PlayStation? I mean, we got to see. We got to see, Crimson. Are they going to get a Game of the Year nod this year? Yeah, we'll see. But let me finish up. Okay, this is the final paragraph. Man, I might not even go over those news stories. We've been here about an hour. Okay, it says, all right. Okay. He says, now we sit here and pretend no, I read that. Okay, he says, I didn't finish reading that. Okay, not deliver the banger games they're known for, or when they do have it, sell poorly, even with that large player base, that they can survive. No, we can't assume that because the games need to sell to feed the next day and date. Maybe not on Xbox, but yes, on PC sooner than later. Nah, that just can't happen right now, Crimson. I understand things can happen in the future. Pardon me, Crimson. Pardon me, everybody. Excuse me. Try not to cough, on the microphone. But I just don't think that can happen, Crimson. Not right now, brother. They need PlayStation to continue to be that driving force so that they can continue to get that 1/3, that is bringing into Sony as a whole, being its most profitable sector of the company. I read it to you, brother. They can't disrupt that. If they do, it's over. They will not survive like Microsoft's. Well, not Microsoft, but they won't survive like Xbox has been surviving, because they definitely won't have the money to keep on losing over and over and over again. They can't spend like Microsoft, not even remotely close. So I just don't see that happening unless something catastrophic happens and they have to do it that way. But it's going to devalue their console big time. We already see what's happening with Xbox right now. I mean, 27 to 29 million to me isn't as abysmal as some people might make it out to be. But we have to admit they have taken a big step backwards when it comes to their console this generation. They're not even charting the same way as they did back during the Xbox One generation. So yeah, it's going in the wrong direction, Crimson. But let me finish up here. It says, do you want Sony to survive? They need to listen to their community. Only problem with that is all they hear is silence, except for praise with no criticism. I'm done. Till next time I write, I await your response, Crimson Phoenix. Shout out to you, brother. Oh, I had a lot of fun with this one, man. This brother that had me here for an hour going over one email. This is nuts. This is lunacy. But this brother know how to get me, though. He know how to get me hyped up, man. That's why I said, Crimson, and I will say it publicly, brother. This is why I love it when you write in, man. It is truly a treat. It is a joy, brother. It really, really is. The thing I'll say is, I know the last thing you said. Let me read that one more time. It says, do you want Sony to survive? Of course I want Sony to survive. Excuse me, I'm a fan of their games. I'm a fan of their brand. It's more so the games than anything. You know, I think they make some of the best games ever. He says, they need to listen to their community. I think, you know what? To that point, Crimson, I do believe they did listen to their community. They listened to us because they knew, or they heard us when we said, we don't want those games as a service games. Get it out of here. Concord, get that out of here. Now, me personally, they kind of had my attention with Concord because they said it was going to be a story element to the game. And you know, that's why I play games. I play them for the story and I play them for fun, not difficulty. Those are the three factors: fun, story, and no difficulty. I'm not trying to beat my head up against the wall 50 times and hitting my doggone pillow out of anger because I can't beat a boss. I don't want to do that. Did that too much during the Nintendo era, you know, so I would say that I think they did listen, and that's why they cut those games. They cut them, and yes, it's going to take a while for them to be able to restructure and get these teams back on track, but that's just unfortunately the problem with readjusting to what's happening now, and, you know, pretty much abandoning the previous plan. It's going to come with some growing pains. And this is part of it, Crimson. We're going to have to wait, unfortunately, longer for some of these studios to actually get a product out, which means we probably, for most of them that were involved with these gas games outside of Naughty Dog, and that's not even a lock still, but we might not get some of these games until PS6, quite possibly, you know, but I think that Sony, they'll continue to get these third-party deals, get second-party deals to continue to feed their fan base so that people don't get too upset with the brand. But what I will say, Crimson, in closing, because we've been here an hour, brother, but in closing, I will say that I don't want Sony to get to the point where they're not releasing multiple IPs, first-party IPs, in a generation. if they get to the point where they're only doing one, they're doing a Rockstar, each of their studios doing one game a generation, that could be enough for me to, I'm not going to say walk out, because where else am I going to go? Xbox might not be around next generation, which is why I want them to stay in the gaming space. Nintendo isn't going to give me the games that I want on that level. Link, Legend of Zelda, what is it? Good grief, I'm forgetting the name of it. Darn, I'm glitching on the name. Zelda, the first game that's on the Switch that I'm going gaga over right now, not Tears of the Kingdom, that's the second one. But anyway, that game is dope, man, and I really, really enjoy it. But I will say, reading text, for like more than half of the game thus far and having to wait for a cutscene, there's not really a cutscene per se, like a PlayStation or Xbox style cutscene for them to start talking. Man, it's taking me back to the NES days, brother. I'm talking before voice acting was a thing. That gets a little on my nerves to a certain degree, but I don't mind it because the game is fun. But I'm saying that I know that on PlayStation and on Xbox, I'm not going to have to worry about that. That's going to already be voice acted in, for the most part, but Nintendo doesn't do that. So they wouldn't scratch the itch that I would have. Only PlayStation and Xbox would be capable of that. And since Xbox might not be around, brother, be kind of stuck, having to deal with PlayStation to a certain degree. But I wouldn't enjoy it. I would hope that they would have their games coming out more frequently, because I'm a fan of PlayStation. Third parties are cool. Second party deals are great. But I am there for your games. I'm there for Ratchet and Clank, The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Ghosts, God of War. If they do decide to go back to it, Uncharted, I'm there for those franchises. And if you stop making those and they're coming out every 6-7 years, that ain't going to cut it, brother. So we'll see what happens. But Crimson, brother, you have done it again. You have outdid yourself this time. And I guess after an hour and 2 minutes, you can see why, again, I had to dedicate this episode to you, man. Shout out to you again, good brother. Man, let me see. Do I want to read? All right, man, I'm going to try to give y'all the condensed version, because I don't want to be a liar and say that I was going to do something at the beginning of the podcast and I do it. So I'll try to condense this. But this first story I got, it was from PC Gamer. They were talking about, who is it? I'll just read through it. So, we haven't had E3 since 2020. And, ultimately it died. What was it, like 2020, during the pandemic, sometime around there. And, it died never to return, but now the Entertainment Software Association, or, they're known as better known as the ESA, they've unveiled its new idea, or their new idea, which is, quote, a first of its kind event designed to connect visionaries, visionaries, thought leaders, and innovators from across industries to harness the power of interactive entertainment, end of quote. Now, this new event is going to be called ICON, and it's spelled IICON. So it actually stands for Interactive Innovation Conference. Now, to cut to the chase, this is not a new E3. On the contrary, the goal is to provide attendees, quote, exclusive access to visionary keynotes, engaging discussions, workshops, and elite networking opportunities with executives shaping the future of entertainment, business, and technology, end of quote. Now, those executives this is interesting. This is a good list. They're going to come from Amazon Games, Disney, Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Microsoft, Nintendo of America, Sony Interactive Entertainment, Square Enix, Take-Two, Ubisoft, and Warner Brothers. End of quote. Now, ESA Chairman Doug Bowser, he said this, and I quote, "It's a natural role for ESA to host and support an event that fosters an open exchange of new ideas with our peer industry leaders." End of quote. Now, this event will make its debut in April of 2026. Now, as far as I read, it doesn't look like this is going to be an event that is going to be for the public. And I don't think that similar to E3 in its last years, when it got opened up to the public, I don't think the public would really want to go to this. It seems like more of a business meeting, people sitting down, trying to figure out how they can make the industry better, the entertainment, gaming industry a better place, and that sounds so cliche. I'll just say just a better, put it in a better situation, basically wanting to figure out how to make more money and what they can do as far as that's concerned, as well as just getting some keynote speakers up there and possibly learning a little bit more and just networking with each other. So again, Icon will be making its debut next year in April of 2026. Be on the lookout for it. I'm sure it'll probably be a situation where some videos will be available on YouTube to look and see what they did or what they were talking about, similar to GDC, maybe somewhere around those lines. But we'll see what happens with this Icon situation in the near future. Pardon me. But let's get into the next story. And I actually got this story from Comic Book. So a new report coming from game industry contributor Daniel Camillo, spelled Camilo, maybe Camilo, is claiming that a new AAA Tomb Raider game will be revealed sometime this year. Could this be at the PlayStation event today? Could it happen? We had to see. But now we've heard rumblings of a new Tomb Raider game being worked on as far back as 2022, where it was also revealed that the game was being made, and y'all guessed it, my favorite engine, Unreal Engine 5 by Crystal Dynamics, and being published by Amazon Games. We just talked about Amazon Games being at this Icon situation. So now I will say, Unreal Engine 5, yeah, they kind of threw a bit of a monkey wrench in my plan when it came to The Witcher 4. Of course, the reports were saying that since The Witcher 4 is a open world game, Unreal Engine 5 doesn't do very well when it comes to open world games, and there may be some problems with The Witcher 4. But what I'm only mentioning that to say that Tomb Raider, the newer ones, they're not necessarily open world. They are, what would you call it, semi-open world. So I don't think it's going to be a problem with this Tomb Raider. But either way, I am excited to see what happens with this, to see if we get an announcement of it today or later on this year, because I am a huge Tomb Raider fan. I have all three of the new Tomb Raiders. Well, they're not new now, but the rebooting of the franchise, I have all three, beat them, enjoyed them thoroughly. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we do get something along the lines of an announcement coming from Crystal Dynamics. We will see. But the other thing I wanted to go over is I got this next story from IGN. So this is more of an update. Man, oh man, what a heck of an update. So listen to this. This is about Warner Brothers games. So Warner Brothers has gone on. Like I said, this is an update. So during a financial call, President and CEO of WB Discover, David Zaslav, said, and I quote, "We recognize the games business is substantially underperforming. Okay, let me read that again. He said, "We recognize the games business is substantially underperforming its potential right now." End of quote. So with that, he said they're doubling down on these different titles. They're doubling down on Hogwarts Legacy, which a sequel is in the works, along with some possible DLC that maybe we see today. Who knows? At the PlayStation State of Play. Man, I'm putting a lot of eggs in that basket. I don't know. I probably need to lower my expectations, because by the time y'all hear this, y'all would have probably already seen the State of Play. And y'all be like, yeah, Keon, you was bugging with that. But we'll see. So they are doubling down on Hogwarts Legacy. The sequel is in the works. And like I said, it's some possible DLC coming. Mortal Kombat is also another one. Game of Thrones and DC. And with that DC license, they're saying in particular, well, not the license, they're Warner Brothers, but they're particularly going to be concentrating on Batman, which brings up a new report from Bloomberg that Rocksteady, quote, is looking to return to Batman for a single player game, end of quote, which would be awesome, because that Suicide Squad, this is the thing. I played about an hour of Suicide Squad. I didn't think it was as bad as what people were saying. Now, granted, I get 10 hours in. Who knows? Maybe it falls apart. But I like the way the story started. I like the graphics. I like the gameplay of like 3 out of the 4 characters. I like Shark, and I like the guy with the pistols the most. The one that I least enjoyed, I would have to say, is probably Harley Quinn. Her movements were it was not great. I didn't really like her movement, but everybody else was cool, especially King Shark. I probably liked his movement the most out of everybody. But we know that game flopped, and I'm sure everybody that's a Rocksteady fan would love to see what they would do with a new Batman game. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, I know that that's going to be years away, so we're going to be waiting for quite some time, probably until PlayStation 6, excuse me, and probably the next Xbox. But that's not the only news, though. You know, one of the things, I would say one of the more shocking things that was revealed is that the Wonder Woman game is in trouble. Now, I guess some people could say, man, that ain't hard to tell. They showed this thing off years ago and we haven't heard anything about it. But yeah, the Wonder Woman game is in trouble. The game has switched directors, early last year, and has been rebooted, and it's cost the company more than $100 million. $100 million. And the game had to be rebooted and had to get a new director. Now, they're saying also that this game is years away as well. So don't hold your breath for Wonder Woman. Now, WB Games, they pitched a John Constantine game that was never approved. So that might have been dope. And a Flash game was scrapped after the film bombed. So we could have got a Flash game if the movie had done better, looks like. But once it bombed, they pulled all resources. Now, right now, they're working on a pitch, that same team, they're working on a pitch for a new Game of Thrones game. And I will say, even though that's some trouble right there, failed projects not being greenlit, projects having to take years to get out the door, Monolith Productions being behind the Wonder Woman game, switching directors, sounds like a lot of chaos, $100 million being lost. There is one bright spot that has happened over at WB, and that is that Mortal Kombat 1 has sold 5 million copies. 5 million. That is at least a bright spot. But let's go ahead for the sake of time and let's get into the next story. So this actually was a story from Game Rant. So we have some new alleged details about the upcoming next 3D Mario game for the Switch. Now, this is coming way of Mr. Nintendad, who says the Mario game, he's talking about this new 3D Mario game coming up for the Switch 2. He's saying it will feature levels based on the Super Mario Brothers movie. And he said, for example, a stage could be set in Brooklyn, New York. Now, the source didn't clarify to what extent the upcoming game would borrow from the animated movie, so it might be a one-off stage. It might be maybe 2 or 3. Who knows? It might be one world that's dedicated to some of the locations that we saw. Well, I didn't see it yet. I haven't seen the Mario movie yet, but that you guys might have seen inside of the Super Mario movie. So again, it sounds dope, that they would merge the two. Sounds like that's a Nintendo thing to do to a certain extent, especially if the Switch 2 is a lot more powerful than the original Switch and they can make the graphics almost kind of mirror what the movie actually looked like. That would be dope. Could you imagine a Super Mario game looking even remotely close to how the movie looks or looked? Oh my gosh, that would be insane. Now, granted, I'm not trying to get my hopes up or anything like that. And who knows, this report itself could be fake. So definitely, as always, take all rumors with a mustard seed of truth. But this would be dope if it did happen. But let's go ahead and let's get into the next story. So in quick news, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers has been upgraded from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. Now, producer Zay Sayuan is spelled X-I-A. That's his first name. Last name is spelled S-I-Y-U-A-N. Sayuan. Man, pardon me, brother. If you hear this, not trying to butcher your name on purpose. Pardon me. Y'all know I struggle with these days, brother. God, dog. Pardon me. All right, let me get to this, though. Now, he made this announcement and also said this brings significant improvements in visual and technical performance, realistic lighting, scanned models, and physics-based effects. And, oh yeah, by the way, now, Crimson is gonna like this. Because this game, of course, it is called Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers. This game will be available day one in Game Pass. Oh man, you still ended up getting the last laugh, brother. God dog. I honestly did not even plan that. God darn, man. And this brother that beat me up and down the street this episode. Oh, man, Crimson, you my guy, man. Anyway, we're going to get to this last story that I actually got from The Gamer. And according to leaks, PlayStation will be releasing an Astrobot bundle, including an Astrobot code, not the physical copy of the game. That's unfortunate. But, however, this will be the physical PS5 version of the console, and it's supposed to release on March 13th, 2025. So we'll see if this actually does happen to be true. Pardon me. And maybe we see something. Yeah, I go with the doggone State of Play. Maybe we see this game at the State of Play event later on today, but we will see. But anyway, that right there will conclude this episode of listener feedback and news for this week. God, dog. Again, if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to, man, sock it to me, God, dog, it like Crimson Phoenix did. God, dog, this joker was relentless. You can do it two different ways. You can either call in at 443-380-0281 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. Remember, without you guys writing in, listener feedback does not happen. So with that being said, I want to thank you again, Crimson Phoenix, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. So what I'll say is, until next time, when we get more listener feedback, until then, get out there, play some games, and enjoy yourself. We are out.